America first, American first. The scenario that has popped out after November 2024 unprecedented historic election in United States when Mr. Donald Trump would take oath in mere 21-22 days only 20th January 2025. America first, American first. American government should give priority to the jobless and homeless people first. And America can see the prosperity only when people are prosperous. If people are penniless and homeless, then America can never see its prosperity. In that scenario, this election is unprecedented. Anyway, long live Jimmy Carter. I mean, long lived, long live Jimmy Carter, long lived Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter was American president from 1977 to January 20th, 1981. 4 year president he served, Mr. Jimmy Carter, but he was longest American president survived. 100 years Jimmy Carter completed. So October 1924, Jimmy Carter was born and now he died 2024, 1924 to 2024 in December 29. Long lived Mr. Jimmy Carter, a historic president in terms of, we will talk, Iranian revolution, a historic president. He tried his best to save America and Americans at his time, but unfortunately, people on other side, Ronald Reagan side, whatever the dirty politics they did to oust Mr. Jimmy Carter. Anyway, Jimmy Carter was born in, so this is the tribute to Mr. Jimmy Carter, longest survived president in United States history. 100 years he completed. Jimmy Carter was born in Georgia Plains, 1925, born to a nurse mother. And Jimmy Carter was the first president who was born in hospitals. Jimmy Carter was the first president who was born in hospital, and he always fought against the racism, and he became Democratic leader. 1963 to 1967, Georgia, he became senator, and 71 to 75, he became governor of Georgia from the Democratic Party. And 77, 81, he became very prestigious and honorable president of United States. He is one of the president who came from farmers background, and his farming was peanut farming. That was the farming that used to take place in Georgia. I believe around mid 1600, 1635, 1640, 1650. Around that, his ancestors they came to Georgia from England. The story of Georgia is very interesting. And during that period, 17th century, means 1600, 1605 to 1705, the eastern part of America was considered as colony of England, United Kingdom. And England is a country which concentrated on industrialization. And there was an invention to make white sugar from sugar cane. And that white sugar became one of the most kind of profitable, lucrative business at that time. It was highly consumed in Europe, white sugar. And European companies, they did any churning to cultivate the sugar cane around the globe. For that, they went to United States eastern part, they made their colony, and they involved the local American red Indians in their agriculture field to cultivate the sugar cane. When they were not sufficient, not suffice, then they brought people from Europe to work in the agriculture field for the sugar cane in Georgia. I believe his, his ancestor would have arrived in this fashion. They were again shortage of people. Then they brought African people as slave, mostly from Western Africa, Namibia, Angola, Congo, and then Sierra Leone and this side. up to Mali also, and then Senegal, I believe, and then they for the kind of cultivating the sugar cane, rum, rum, and then the sugar, sugar. So factory was in Europe, so they were taking the sugar cane, and later I believe they were making the sugar in the United States itself. Anyway, now this is the kind of story of Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter, kind of one of the president who was from farmers background. And Jimmy Carter 1977, when he took the oath, then he gave the kind of pardon to the draft evaders. Draft evader in the era of Vietnamese war that went till 1975, I believe, Vietnam United States war. In war situation, you are not expected to leave the country because anytime you will be called and you have to go to fight for your country. Now, many people, many men, they left America. They are called draft evaders. At the time of war, if you leave the country, then it is considered as a big crime. In the time of war, you are not supposed to leave your country. That is considered as very, very big crime. In that sense, anyway, Jimmy Carter, he had promised that these draft evaders who had left the country, anyway, war is over, so they would be pardoned. And the second day or first day, when he took the office, so the case against them were taken off. So this is what he did. Then, in power shortage and recession, many things Jimmy Carter solved. So those were very positive for the Jimmy Carter, and it was certain that Jimmy Carter would be elected again as president in 1981. But as per his luck, 1979 there was Iranian revolution. This is for this revolution only Jimmy Carter is remembered always. So Iranian revolution happened, and the Shah of the Iran, he has to flee. Iran was considered as the most powerful ally of United States in Asia. Iran, the Tehran embassy of Iran, it had 1,500 employees in American embassy. 1,500 employees in 1979. The kind of the economic people who deal about the economic and treasure and taxes, they were employed from United States only in the Shah King in his tenure. So it was like Shah was very much involved with the United States. Post the revolution, when Shah had to leave the country, in that sense, United States was favorable to the Shah. And whoever came, Khomeini, I believe he is still alive, Ayatollah Khomeini. Now he was completely against the United States. And in that fashion, Shah, I believe, he went to Egypt. Egypt gave him kind of asylum or stay. Short duration he stayed in Egypt. While staying in Egypt, he developed some kind of disease, and one operation was required, and that has to happen only in United States. Now, Jimmy Carter was very, very anxious in a sense that lot of American people were living in Iran at that time, including the embassy people. In that sense, giving the opportunity for the operation in United States means there would be havoc on the American people living in Iran at that time. But somehow, hesitantly, he agreed for the operation, and whatever happened, that was completely unexpected. Anyway, people in US embassy, more or less, they vacated the embassy. Around 71 US employees were still there, and most of them, they were captured by these Iranian new government people, and that is was became a very negative for the Jimmy Carter. And 51 of them, they were taken as hostage, I believe, for more than 1 year. I don't know what happened to them, and whatever it is. And Jimmy Carter in 1981, by whatever luck or whatever, he kept to friendship. The friendship what he had developed with the Shah of Iran. Now he followed the friendship, whatever. Many times people they lose the election, but they win the personal election. So he won the personal election, and in 1981 he lost the election. In 2023, there is one research that went out, and that the research suggested that Ronald Reagan campaign, those people deliberately they motivated Iranian revolutionary people to elongate the problem in Iran so that Jimmy Carter would lose. This is the 2023. The survey is showing. With Ronald Reagan, personally, his faction supported this Iranian revolution the against United States people to elongate the revolution, okay, elongate the whatever they have problem with the United States, so that the people in United States they would feel that Jimmy Carter is the responsible for the problem is happening for the American people in Iran, and this is how falsely he lost the election. Anyway, long live Jimmy Carter, long lived Jimmy Carter. So this is the tribute to the Jimmy Carter and any this kind of personality who is so much experienced. If country loses him, then certainly country lose a lot. In that sense, it is a heavy loss to United States and it is heavy loss to Donald Trump because he had lost some very senior person who would have given him a very valuable advices what he would certainly need in the future. Or what he would have would needed certainly in the future. Anyway, long live Jimmy Carter. God bless America.